Nice clip. Very nice. Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. My name is Thanyawat Srivajana and welcome to RoTransWipe, a program where I talk about the history as well as some of the most popular aspects of some of the most popular Roblox Transport Games currently. This program is very impromptu, meaning that yes, there will be no scripts, nor will there be any seasons, meaning that yes, if I go inactive or on hiatus, you will not be seeing any more episodes. Well, I guess it's a bit interesting, this experiment, but yeah, it's pretty good of it. Yeah, I don't know what to tell, so let's just move on. Hello there. Just gonna use mic now because the GoPro's mic quality is a bit bad. Anyway, in this first episode, we are going to talk about SCR. Stepford County Railway has been what made me hooked into the Roblox Transport community, and yes, it has been very impactful. Current version is 2.1, maybe 2.2, 2.3 later this next year, because it's filmed between New Year's, this episode. But to not make things complicated, I'm just gonna tell the history in major versions, as well as we're gonna move on to other aspects such as the community, content creators, trains, stations, etc. So, the origins of SCR actually date back to the 26th of December 2010, the year when Sebastian Vettel won his first F1 championship, UK got a hung parliament, and the iPad was born. Charlie_RBX, known at the time as Magic Movies Team 1, founded Robust Simulator Stepford, and it is one of the oldest remnants of Stepford County to date. Now, Robust Simulator is a bit of a hot topic. This game is just a bus simulator and has some crappy graphics, but at least it's one of the only remnants of Stepford at the time. Surprisingly, it got updated over 10 years ago, so no big deal why. Well, after over 4 years of development, Charlie took a break from Roblox and left the Robust Simulator game in ashes. There was no hope of anything regarding Stepford ever again. But until 15th of March 2017, Charlie_RBX returns. He begins development and scripting for something new. And that thing new, which was released on the 25th of November 2017, was Stepford County Railway. In this original version of the game, there was only one operator, Stepford Connect, running services between Stepford Town to either Port Benton and Stepford Airport Central via Benton. The trains were pretty basic, being somewhat paper, as well as having only a basic AWS system, and all the junctions and destinations. It's not very fully detailed as of now. Now, because Charlie is unfortunately legally blind, he had to ask someone to carry the legacy of SCR, and that someone was, of course, Bantech Adam Whitney. Well, this guy is a legend in the SCR community, but when he took over, yes, it was a bit of a rough start, with Waterline beginning services between Newry and Greenslade, and plans for the big update being a bit delayed or something, which means that a big overhaul to SCR was a bit slow. It wasn't until the 21st of April 2018 when, you guessed it, Bantech released the big update. This milestone update was a huge rewrite of the game's code, meaning new driving and signaling systems and a new GUI overall, as well as a new way to buy trains and these new fangled thing called routes. Points. Now, game passes are a thing of the past. This update also included the infamous extensions and closure of Winstry Station in favor of a new Leighton branch, as well as this Connolly extension on Waterline, which is very overlooked. Later in December, they released SCR version 1.1. Yes, this was the Airlink update, which gave us an express line via Morganstown. Yes, the Morganstown branch. Waterline was extended to James Street, but not for long. As well as Connect extended to Edgemead and Stepford Victoria, as well as the Class 68 being released, of course. It's very expensive. On the 28th of April 2019, version 1.2 was released. It was the Whitefield extension. How come that it's very, 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 very small? To the 8th of May, where Bantech somewhat previewed in a video the future of SCR at the time. Excuse me. Holy hell. Go with stop capture. It was version 1.3. Released on the 14th of May 2019, it was the first step of SCR's upgrade of trains into next generation. Trains with doors, interiors, and of course, text. The first batch of these trains were the Sprinter Class 158 and the 508 Braille units. Surprisingly, this has been impactful for the games as well because, yeah, last time I've seen them, trains were paper. Well, how were these trains made? As openly stated by Matty X 2013 in a video he made himself, they used the previous generation or paper models and made interiors for them. Sounds kind of fishy, you know. In December, version 1.4 was released. It was the Express update, finally finishing the operator quadruplicity. The update gave us the Lin extension, just extending from Edgemere to Lin by the Sea, of course, as well as 2 new trains as part of the Express introduction, the Class 43 HST and the 801 IETs. I don't know how you call them. The biggest patch of version 1.4 was 1.4.1, of course. It was the largest patch in SCR history, giving us more trains that are next generation, the Famia Green TMD, as well as more scenery upgrades to modernize the train game itself. Oh yeah, so it can compete with other games like Grand Continental and Trains. In a hugely shocking YouTube premiere on the 25th of April 2020, Bantech Systems announced, well, you get the picture, just hear it. Guards are here. It was version 1.5, the Guards update. The new rule guards was to accompany the driver to conduct the train, as well as a new procedure to dispatch trains, as well as a new 5 points bonus for drivers who have been accompanied by a guard. 1.5 also included the sneak preview of the Stepford Connect rebrand, as well as the completion of the next generation upgrades. From here on out, all trains that will be released will be next generation. Later in June, version 1.6 was released. It was the rebrand of Stepford Connect and Waterline. Yeah, Waterline is no longer a Connect subsidiary. Very shocking. The Littlefield extension and the infamous Morgan Sound Shuttle introduction, as well as the Coxley area refurbishment and the introduction of Transport with Stepford. Some stations as well were refurbished and upgraded, and some scenery changes at Stepford Central could be seen. Alright, to spice things up a little as we near the end of the history section, let's try to use some B-roll. Yeah, I'm gonna just try to impromptu all of these updates out, and let's see if this works. Alright, do it. SCR version 1.7, released on the 29th of October 2020, included the Class 801 mesh, as well as the new Express branding rolling out on the train. Leighton Stepford Road and West Wyvern are now owned by the Express, as well as it now calling at Morgantown. New VIA announcements as well. Revamps for the Morgantown branch and Benton as well. We also got the lounge and of course new Upper Stapler station. Version 1.8, released on the 5th of December, gave us the new Leighton West Station, the Class 444, and of course, the revamped Leighton area, as you can see here. Version 1.9 was basically April Fool's gone wrong. New area was revamped, as well as Express now calling there, as well as literally the developers making a terrible spaghetti map. On the 27th of August, we got in the version of 1.10. Finally, the airport was revamped as well as the new James Street extension, now finally terminating at Estherfield Station, with intermediate stops at Farley and Rosedale Village. Version 2.0 overhauled the driving system as well as new user interfaces which somewhat looked the same, as well as the Raleigh Bay branch and the diesel-only Class 800. Finally, on the 24th of December, SCR released 2.1. Rather controversial for its longer trains Game Pass, at least it revamped Hendon Park Station and had the Game Pass exclusive Class 390 Pendolino. Now with that history lesson out of the way, it's time to talk about the numbers and we can go to the mechanics. SCR currently has over 92 million visits, a network spanning over 26 lines, 68 stations, and of course 78 routes, which is very big for a railway game. Over, you guessed it, 70 trains operated by 4 train operating companies, and it has been alive for over 7 years, and its group has over 565,000 members. Now, when you join the game for the first time, you only have two roles that you can play in: passenger and driver. Now, we'll talk about the driving mechanics later, but for passengers, well, it's very basic. Passengers can go walk around the map, ride trains, or even trespass, but you have to only trespass if you have a private server or if you are just a guest. Otherwise, you get demoted if you are in the group. Now moving on to driving. Now driving is the main mechanic of the game, as you can only spend these points, which I will talk about that later, on, you guessed it, trains and routes. When you select a train and a route and press the spawn button, you may have to choose a depot for you to spawn. That's where you're gonna go to the next station or your terminus station. Basically just WS or use the slider if you're on mobile to accelerate and decelerate, but it's very hard to decelerate when you are approaching a station. Stop markers are there for a reason, so you can have a perfect stop every time you are in the station. Yeah, just try and slow down a bit when you approach the when you almost approach the station, just slow a bit down and there you go. There are a lot of trains that you can buy in SCR as well as routes. Now these trains are likely fairly expensive, but yeah, I guess they have this dedication to just make these trains is so shocking, especially with the fact that most of the trains now are meshed. Yeah, I won't go into much detail, but they are very amazing. My favorite trains right now are the Class 730 Perifon Waterline and Stepford Connect, the Class 801 IETs, and of course the Pendolinos, unfortunately. Now moving on to the next mechanic, dispatches. Yeah, those guys who have a whistle and a big light baton that you just hang it up. Well, these people just clear your train to depart from the station, especially on your platform. Well, these dispatchers have a very busy job with the fact that, yeah, they have to clear you guys in a matter of minutes. But yes, they have to stay on the platform until you technically leave the platform. That's why it's very busy when you are in the server with multiple trains in a station with a dispatcher, with only one sole dispatcher, especially at Stepford Central. Yeah, that's why, yeah, it may cause delays, that's why. Very bad, isn't it? Now moving on to guards, released in version 1.5, it's basically dispatchers version 2. These guards just conduct on the train and they are basically, yeah, it's not very complicated, they're mobile guards. When there is a procedure, when both dispatchers and guards are existing, they have to talk to each other by using these sticks. That is why it's somewhat complicated, yeah. Now moving on to the most complicated role in the game, signalers. Well, you see those red, green and blue lights on your screen or even on your GUI. That's the role of the signalers. They just switch signals to make lines clear for you to proceed. Their role is so important that they have extensive training for that. Oh god. Yeah. not as complicated as driving, but yes, it's very complicated that you have to manage multiple trains at once, especially if you are in a public server. Yeah, they have automatic signaling and whatsoever, but these roles are very supportive of what the infrastructure of the game runs on. Now, to receive these roles of dispatcher, guard, and signaler, you have to join the SCR group. The ranking structure is very complicated, but luckily I have simplified these to over 6 levels. I'm just gonna explain this here and let future me just make the graphics out. You have guests who are not in the group. Members, basically drivers, guards, and signalers, those members who are in the group and are waiting to get trained. You got trainee drivers, qualified drivers, dispatchers, guards, and sailors, whatever. Supervisors supervise. They just are your tutors, your trainers. They basically just train you guys to become a member. Formerly, there were dedicated roles for the supervisors, like lead drivers, senior dispatchers, senior guards, and senior signalers. But ever since Supervisor version 2.0, they decided to just simplify that to just one whole role. And for managers, which is another level before the 2 main levels, there are dedicated roles, of course: driver manager, platform manager, guard manager, signaler manager, engagement manager, but yada yada yada, and the community manager, of course. And we move on to the developers, a semi-quasi role between the managers and directors. These people just create what is inside the game, as well as just manage those technical stuff in between. You got the game developers and, of course, product developer. And then we go into the directors. You got the community director and operations director. There is also SCR team official, which is the group's holder account and the holder account for the game itself. Now, moving on to the scenery and the look of the game. Now, their stations are very, not gonna lie, their stations, their scenery are very good for a Roblox game. Most of the stuff that you are gonna see in the game is very detailed, especially the stations, the trains, and the uniforms. Well, they got free swagger at Stepford United Football Club, I heard. Now, with over 68 stations, they have gradually just improved them ever since version 1.7, and that's why they still have, you guessed it, a lot of players playing. They want to encourage players with some newer swag. One of my favorite stations are Stepford Central, Lynn by the Sea, and St. Helens Bridge. I am very conservative about that, especially with the fact that the latter 2 stations, Stepford Central and Lynn by the Sea, are based on London stations. Well, let's move on to points. Points are the main currency in the game, which you can use to buy trains and routes. Now, you can earn points by driving, dispatching, guarding, and signaling, You can even get points when you ride a train, but you can only get 1 point per station, fortunately. Another currency, no, it's just a number, is experience. Now, experience is a measure of how long you have played the game, how long you've just driven, basically. So, yeah, if you just ride a train for so long, you cannot really buy a Class 68 or even apply for trainings. That's very sad if you want to become an avid SCR player. So keep driving and carry on. You can also purchase points if you can using Robux. Yeah, it's just money. That's why. Yeah, here comes the money. Yeah. Oh God. Now moving on to the community side of SCR. Now, SCR is so big that it has gained a cult following. With over 92 million visits, why not you would think that there would be a cult following? Yeah, they have over 565,000, that means it's very big. And of course, yeah, 78k on a Discord server. Yeah, they have an official Discord server. Why would you rather? And even with a community this big, there is expected to be hot water. Yes, SCR has been in a lot of controversies, so much that I cannot really tell in a whole video. This includes the windstream destruction in the big update causing massive shock, as well as the accidental uncopy locking of the game, which made copies of SCR Legacy. Over a few years later, with a few controversies between supervisors and the creators of the game, Charlie, unfortunately being so controversial that he left the community side and just turned it into SCR Team Official. Yeah, his account was turned into that. And of course, the latest version 2.1 with that over 1,000 Robux Game Pass. Yeah, I bought it. Long term, it may be worth it, but short term right now is not very worth it. I'm very disappointed, I know, with the fact that they had to do that, but I am understandable that mainly 3 things are the reason why they had to mark this up over 1,000 Robux. They have to pay the developers, of course. They gave us, well, you guessed it, exclusive trains and more later. And of course, you guessed it, to prevent trolls. The same thing like you expected in the airport update version 1.10, which got the Elizabeth Line Class 345. I mean, it's the same thing, guys. Why are you guys just shocked about it? Oh yeah, it's just 10 quid. Yeah, 10 quid, why? Why? Now, even a space like SCR can be a spawn point for content creators. Yes, people on the tube who mainly create content on SCR. These people are even the regular person's first exposure to the game itself, and that's why people really like them. Well, there are many legendary creators who have started their careers in SCR in its earliest days, even in 2019 or even 2018. Those people being Golden Squid, Dravo, Pink Boy, and even Pro Potter Plays. Man, I wonder where he is. But however, these creators have been outshadowed by up-and-coming creators such as Went for the Money, Attributes Playing, Dweller Yaps, Blue Dream, Crunch Clips Yonda, On the Wrong Track, Latent Area, Errorism, and of course, Yuri Trains. These people are really just surprising, isn't it? Yes, it's indeed interesting. Past me. Now here is a snippet of what a regular creator would do. Yo, what is up, guys? So now we got some SCR news coming around. We got a new sneak peek by, you guessed it, TJH. They got a new metro system. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Well, as you can tell from this regular specimen, the species of SCR creator now prioritize sneak peeks more than original content. How come? It's likely for the views and the clicks. But it's very rare to see original content like some funny stuff in SCR, so yeah, very saddening it had to come to this. Well, I guess that concludes the first installment. From just a small train game to now having a player base of over 95 million, SCR has gotten a lot of history and has gotten better over the years, and it's proud that I have documented for the good or for the worst, I guess. In the future, I might make an additional extra installment, or RoTransWipe Extra, just documenting additional updates if I can, or just literally go on with another installment, likely talking about British Railway or Europe's trains. I do not know what to say, but thank you for watching over 23.5 minutes of me literally yapping about the history, the game mechanics, and even the community of SCR. And I guess I'll just see you later in another installment. But I guess, yeah, in conclusion, SCR is something that is, well, uniquely British and is astonishing. Thank you